Hi guys, and welcome back to a new video here. I'm Will from HPT Group. If you've been watching and researching offshore companies online on YouTube, you know, tax-free living, relocation plans, XYZ, you would have seen some Cyprus, some Dubai. Online is essentially saying the same thing. So in this video, I'm going to explain why most offshore structures and setups can fail and sometimes do fail around the world. Most likely because they haven't been set up properly, right? So let's get straight into it. If you haven't met me before, I am Will from HPT Group. We help clients relocate, set up their company, set up their trusts, and even banking as well. We do a wide host of services from fintech to simple company formations, right? We typically spend our time consulting and advising our clients around the world on where they should be, where's best for them, what's best for their objectives, and making a custom structure for them. So if you did obviously want some help, you can book a strategy link down in the link below. You just have to go to hpt.com/apply and you can get in contact with us there. Who is this video essentially for? This video is for people who aren't trying to hide money or something. You're essentially running an online SaaS business, you're running an online enterprise, and essentially you're looking into your life thinking, hang on a second, I potentially could be living in Bali here and I could be not paying German tax, I could be not paying UK tax. This is for someone like you. You're looking for a structure that survives audits, is bankable, reputable as well, and very well respected within international trade organizations as such around the world. You're just looking, how can you improve your business, make it grow faster, and obviously save on those taxes, protect your assets, and do all of that. And you know, this is not for people looking to hide and wash money XYZ. It is for serious entrepreneurs online who are looking to make their life better, expand their operations XYZ. So guys, the biggest mistake which I actually see starting off is it isn't actually choosing the wrong country, okay? I would say it's about building everything in isolation, right? And it's either their passport choices, their tax residency choices, their companies, their banking, their personal life, and they're all shocked when it doesn't work, okay? For example, you have a Dubai company, but a European lifestyle, a US passport, but non-US thinking, an Italian resident structure that's designed for digital nomads or someone living in Dubai. The system doesn't fail, the logic simply does, okay? So it's very common. For example, we see clients come to us, they're living in Prague, in Czech Republic, but they have a UAE company. Just makes no sense. Clearly all the economic choices are being made from Czech Republic in Prague, okay? So most online advice is very dangerous, so do be careful. Make sure you're always including with my own. Get an external advisor as well. So online advice is obviously optimized for clicks, not for the outcomes, firstly speaking. And it skips boring but critical questions. As you see, my channel is pretty boring because this topic is boring, simply speaking, but it's incredibly important. Now, where are you actually a resident? This is one of the most key things in the entire overview of the structure, right? It really comes down to where you are a tax resident yourself. Controls the company, legally and practically. Now, that is an important choice right there. How the money flows from the client to the company. What happens if you sell, get audited, or instead change your tax residency? Let's say you're living in Dubai. What happens if you move to Europe? What happens if you move to the US? What happens if you move to Australia or South Africa? All very high tax jurisdictions. We have seen clients, we've actually helped move clients to South Africa from Guernsey, who were previously living in a tax haven as such, and they've actually gone into the onshore world. But there's a way of doing that, and there's a way of doing that successfully, right? Very important. So we always work on comes with the same principle. Start with the individual and then build everything up around that particular person. So that's for tax residency, that's for companies, that's for passports, that's for banking. It's everything is built around the client itself. Every solution is case by case. And that's why we cannot I can't film a video and say this one solution fits all. That is simply not the case. Because of your tax residency, it is very important that it is built around you as a person, your personal life objectives, which obviously we go over in the call, your clear objectives and what you want from the actual service and how we can get as close to possible to that. And again, as I say to clients a lot, sometimes it's good to pay a little bit of tax. For example, with Cyprus, it can be really good to have a dual Cyprus company set up. You get 0% foreign dividends, as long as there's substance there. You can then also get dividends free from your Cyprus company. You effectively pay, between I think it's 12.5% to 15%. Income on the sales tax, the same as Hong Kong, very similar. People just set up a company there, but they don't realize the full exemptions. And what you have to do to then get those exemptions for that foreign income, right? But again, Singapore, Hong Kong, dividends all tax-free, very good. Doesn't mean that you need to be in Nevis or British Virgin Islands, okay? So that is very key here. And that's what I work on daily with our clients at HPT Group, okay? So Americans, we've had a lot recently actually planning their reunification. Now this is a very complicated and interesting process. I've currently got a meeting in 15 minutes, helping a client go through his as he's moving to Italy on the lump sum tax regime, okay? Europeans are obviously leaving Europe, generally speaking, now integrating them into Dubai life, or Hong Kong, or Singapore, or Panama, or Costa Rica, or Paraguay, for example. This can be a challenge, and that's also then how we help clients today, because they just really think for the next 2 years. We really need to get into their brains to ask some questions of what are they thinking in 3 years, 6 years, 10 years time, and how is this structure going to plan into that X, Y, Z. This is what we do at HPT Group. We have seen a lot of crazy, let's say, combinations where it's very particular. Someone's living in Dubai, but their company's based in the US, but there's no operations there. There's nothing going on there. It's a complete shell company. Similar to people with Hong Kong companies as well. It can happen a lot. And vice versa. We have people living in the UK, Europe, America, who we have spoken to. Some aren't our clients, and we would never advise on this, but they basically have a UAE company with no substance while they're trading out of Europe. So it is very interesting, surely that company it doesn't make any sense, right? So at the end of the day, we really take things slowly. It's good to have a roadmap. We love roadmaps at HPT Group. We love roadmaps for every single phase. Let's say it's 3 phases of an agreement that we're working with the client. We then have 3 different roadmaps, generally speaking, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and there's a roadmap then for each of these different phases. So the client's always aware what is going on, what the objectives are, what the constraints are, what the timelines are. Are we behind work? Are we ahead of work? Can they meet their expectations in particular in maybe moving to the country for that timeline? Obviously, we understand a lot is going on. People have their personal lives, their family lives, their business lives, and obviously then stuff that comes into their playbook on a weekly basis anyway. So we're always very happy to work around our clients. And that's what we do. For example, I've been up since 6, 7 this morning because I was doing a call in LA time zone. I'm currently based over in Asia. So hopefully that explains a lot more about things that can go wrong with the offshore structures. When you simply see an Instagram video and you think, oh, let's set up a company in Dubai, you don't really think about the consequences behind that and if you can even do it, if it's running effectively, or should you just be in your local domestic economy, for example? Are you happy staying where you are? Are you happy paying that tax? Are you happy having, let's say, access to less business opportunities or less funding circles, for example, X, Y, Z. And then it comes to the next question is, when people just set up these companies, are they planning on selling their business? Are they planning on moving their residence in the future? This always comes into play. Obviously, if you're planning to sell a business, then obviously you might be choosing Singapore over Hong Kong. If you're planning to sell a business, you might be choosing Ireland or Cyprus over some other parts of Europe. So that's very key, and it's really key to take it slowly and really, really focus. And again, if you haven't already gone and clicked the link below and filled out our information on the website, you can go ahead and do so. You just go hpt.group/apply, and you can go ahead and fill out the information, and you'll get in contact with myself or Steph as well. But over on that one, guys, I will leave you to it and see you in the next video. Cheerio. Bye-bye.